I was in the regular Army, and I was assigned to the 25th Infantry Division. When I first started, I was an M60 machine gunner, and after less than a month, I was sent to the 25th Infantry's Combat Marksman School, which was sniper school, and I ran sniper teams for the next 8 months. And at the end of 8 months, I was looking for an offline job in the rear, and there wasn't anything. And then I was recruited by an aviation company that wanted somebody on their long-range standoff gun on an experimental helicopter called a Nighthawk gunship. And so that's what I did for the last 4 months in Vietnam. The Nighthawk was a H model or a Huey, and it was modified. We had a Xeon spotlight back where the crew chief sits. Mounted above the Xeon spotlight was a perimeter starlight scope. Right beside the starlight and the spotlight was a minigun, 6,000 rounds a minute. And on the other side of the helicopter in the doorway, there was a twin 60, which is basically two M60 machine guns on the same mount. And then my gun was the Aviation 50 caliber, which was a 50 caliber that was modified and would shoot 800 rounds a minute of API, armor-piercing incendiary. August 21st, 1969, I was still a sniper, and my sniper team was about to be overrun on a mission. They detected us and surrounded us, and we fought it out from 10 o'clock at night till 7:30 in the morning. We had 8 light fire teams of Cobra helicopters. We had artillery from 2 interlocking fire support bases, and in the morning we had F-4 Phantoms dropping 750-pound bombs around us. And for some reason, I was in a lot of firefights in Vietnam. This one was the most memorable. One of the funniest things that happened was on my first combat assault, which was one of the first times I ever flew in a Huey. And a combat assault is where infantry troops are loaded on the helicopter and we're taken into a hot LZ usually, and we were to jump out at this LZ, and my initial group was to secure the LZ for the rest of the people coming in. Well, as we were flying in, I was looking toward the front of the helicopter, toward the ground, and all of a sudden there was an explosion out to my side, and what it was a Cobra helicopter flying beside us and was shooting rockets toward the ground and exploding. And it scared me pretty bad because I was a brand new troop. And as we approached the ground, I could see it almost looked like landing in the ocean. The grass was elephant grass, and it's 8 to 10 feet tall, and the rotor wash of the helicopter was making it look like waves in the ocean. And as we approached, the helicopter flared and slowed down, and the gunner was pushing me and telling me to jump. And I looked at the ground, and I couldn't see the ground. All I could see was the elephant grass. And finally, I decided I better jump, and I jumped out, and I think my feet were the last thing to hit the ground. I landed on my rear end. My rucksack pulled me back. My steel pot hit me on the head. And then the helicopters disappeared, and you could have heard a pin drop in that jungle. It was so quiet. And I looked up, and this 8-foot grass was all around me, and that's all I could see. And I thought, I'm the only one that jumped. And it was a very, very scary. And then I heard a whistle and another whistle, and everybody had the same impression that we were the only ones that jumped. And later on, it was funny, but it wasn't at the time.